first thing is that this film was never really started out as a film. It wasn't what we set out to do. We've worked with Nick for 7 years now, and he was the first person to ask Iain and I, former visual artists, to make a music video. And maybe like a year and a half ago, 2 years ago, when the band were going in to demo and write Push the Sky Away, he said, come in the studio, come in with us. So we took some cameras in, and the footage that we got was so remarkable, so different, so intimate, that we knew we had to do something more with it. So that's when we started to think about what that could be. And we borrowed Nick's notebooks, and in those notebooks we found discarded lyrics, fragments, and in amongst there, this remarkable, unusual phrase, 20,000 Days on Earth. And really the whole film began then. Our synapses were firing, and we could see that we could make something kind of both big and incredibly intimate about that concept of how long you've been on Earth and what it is that you do with your time when you're here.
I was wondering if this process was kind of a psychoanalysis for you too.
No. No, I mean, what I liked about the film really was that I was given the opportunity to talk about and ruminate about things that I was actually interested in. This rarely happens in a journalistic or interview situation.
I mean, very broadly speaking, the times where you hear Nick speaking over picture, the voiceover, had a script. Everything else didn't. So we had storyboards, we had plans, we had situations, but within that, all of the dialogue is essentially improvised.
There's very little of what you see is true, is truly what happened in front of the camera. But truth's not that interesting. You know, that's a narrow road to take our imaginations down. We could tell a far richer, more hopefully inspiring story by crafting it, by kind of making it into something more cinematic.
There was something going on in those car scenes that were especially Blixa, Bargeld scene and the Kylie Minogue scene, in that I hadn't seen these people in a really long time. We had the most intimate talk that we've had probably ever inside that car with the cameras rolling. So maybe it's something to do with being a celebrity, whatever you want to call that, of being constantly interviewed. That the most intimate things that get said ultimately are in those weird, false situations. That may be one of the tragedies of being a celebrity.
Where do you get your inspiration?
Did you see the film? No, obviously not.
I'm talking about the music.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's
look,
the answer.
That's the answer.
Yeah.
That's the answer, huh? That's a
Yeah.
good answer.
You go and see the film. That's what it's about.
Mm-hmm. Okay. The question
It's
in the
great.
back. Yeah, it's you. Could you please stand up?
Who's seen the film? All right. Oh, you have seen the film. You just can't remember it. You fell asleep.
I wonder if the three of you, it sounded like you were friends before you began this, if you worried that this collaboration might affect adversely your friendship, and who had the final cut, the final decision on the movie we now see?
It's a great question.
It's a good question, yeah.
Yeah, I worried. We were friends before.
I can't fucking stand either of them.
I did
Never
worry
did
because...
like you two.
Oh, no. Iain and I knew we had to make a film that we could stand behind, and we wanted to make a film, hopefully, our ambition was to make a film like you'd never seen before. To try and do something new or push things a bit further than we'd certainly seen happen in music films and maybe in documentary. Just something fresh, and to do that, you have to break some rules, and we didn't know, like, yeah, it could never feel like a vanity project, and that was kind of always the law that we started from. It couldn't feel like a kind of like a promo or a vanity thing.